Demetrious, this is your second year as an offensive lineman. Will you talk a little bit about the transition that you had to make going from a tight end / defensive end in high school to now a tackle, and how have things improved from last year to this?
Yeah. So when I got here, I came in as a tight end, as you said. It was definitely a shock coming as a tight end just from a small school, and then them asking me like, "Hey, would you be willing to try to align?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" I mean, I'm always like a fan of trying new stuff. It was definitely the transition. Then we switched coach, ended up with the coach switch. So the transition was rocky at the start, but then meeting with Coach Adazio and him just being excited for me to be trying the new position, it was say an easy switch over. But the growth from last year to this year, last year I would say I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, just learning the new stuff. But this year it's definitely more easy coming, knowledge-wise.
Anyone else have questions? We'll go back to TV row on the right side to Ben and then Tyler.
What have you seen from the O-line? Just kind of, not only seems like y'all have kind of improved your level of play, but still kind of mixing and matching over the course of the game, but it doesn't seem to slow y'all down too much with all those different pairings.
Yes. O-line wise, I would say that just the growth in each other, the trust in each other that we've grown since last year. I think we are definitely more of a solid unit, and that was one of the big things that we worked on coming in over the summer, like just holding each other accountable into our work and just our work on the field and outside of the field.
And then what's it been like seeing Ernest kind of coming out there and getting his hand on some balls?
No, it's been great. I mean, just to have a brother on the team is fantastic, and just to see him succeed is a great sight.
You ever reminding Coach Petrino hey, I used to be tight end. You want to do jumbo package? I'm not the only crown. He's not the only crownover who can bring one in.
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. We probably should get some. We should probably get that in motion for sure, though.
We'll stay back behind the lights in the middle to Tyler and then Chip.
What's the level of excitement preparing for Alabama? Does it? I don't know. Do you get any more amped up for games like this?
Yes and no. We treat each week like it's the next team. Coach Fisher's big speech is it's the next team. But I mean, I feel like deep down, yes, it's a more exciting game. But preparation-wise, we treat each week like it's the next team.
And then Anaya Smith, out there, returning punts for touchdowns and the yards he had. He got, special teams player of the week. Just what's it like, being on the team with Anais and seeing what he was able to do?
Anais is a great player. He is very much so a team-oriented player, and he doesn't only want to see himself succeed, but he wants to see the team succeed. So he has made it his mission to just make sure we're succeeding as a team and not just as individuals.
We'll stay back toward the back of the room on the right side to Chip.
What's the difference, if any, in the quarterback's personality and kind of how the huddle runs and how Max runs things versus Connor? Do you see much difference there?
No, they're both very much so a leader of the team, so they like to take order of the huddle and just make sure everything's running smoothly, and they complement each other very well of hey, don't forget this, and they'll just go back and forth and work with each other on it.
What's it mean to have a guy who is experienced step into that spot? It didn't seem like you guys lost anything when that change happened.
Yeah, I know, and that's the goal. I mean, to be ready when your jersey number's called is the goal for everybody. To be ready to step on the field and not miss a beat.
We'll go front row on the right side to Brent and then Travis.
Do you mind taking us back to your recruitment out of Grandview and how much Ernest, that whole process, how much it played with him? Did y'all arrive at the same? I can't remember. He was here before you, correct? So just how much that all played into it?
Yeah. So Ernest got here a year before I did, coming from Kilgore. Well, went to West Point and then Kilgore came here. I had a big part knowing my brother's going to be here. It was exciting to be like, man, I get to play with my brother. In high school, I only got to play with him for 1 year, my freshman year. So that was fun, but we didn't really get to play together. But just to come here, knowing that he's going to be here, it was exciting.
Are y'all roommates, and how has that been with having, you know, both of y'all around?
So my first 2 years we were. I mean, it's the same as living back at home. I do all the cooking. Ernest will be like, "Hey, make sure you clean this." But other than that, it's about the same.
Needed to branch out on your own?
We'll stay front row on the right side to Travis.
With both y'all in Alabama coming in, no losses in the West, do you keep your eye, corner of your eye on what's kind of going on around the league and know what's at stake not only this week, but what could possibly happen this year?
Yeah. I mean, it's very much like you. I mean, who doesn't? But it doesn't. The thing is, you can't let it affect you in the way you play. I think it's just very much so of like we all hold ourselves to a standard, and to change that for we can't change that for anybody.
We'll go front row on the left side to Cease.
Take us, what's happened with the offensive line from Miami to now? You've had a lot different games, different outcomes the way we look at the offensive line. So what has happened to make the offensive line, at least to us on the outside, looking in better than they were in Miami? What have you guys done to move forward?
Yeah. So that Miami game, after the Miami game, it was a sickening feeling in your stomach because, you know, we lost one that we shouldn't have. But we knew, like, we had to, like, come together and be like, hey, guys, like, we can't afford to have any more games like this. So it was that chip on our shoulder, I would say, that helped us improve.
Specifically, what did the offensive line, do you feel, how have you guys gotten better? What have you done, and how would you rate the Arkansas game for the offensive line compared to the previous games?
So the Arkansas the previous games, we haven't watched as a team yet, but I would just say that we looked more comfortable. I would just say we looked more comfortable. I think it was just it was an early game, but just getting more comfortable throughout the games during the season.
We'll go back to the right side, front row to Brent.
What's the most difficult part of playing tackle?
I would just say the space. You have help, but the help's not always there. You could have each rusher each week is different. So, like, you could have a speed rusher to a bull rush to somebody that wants to go up and under. So that space and then being able to move is what I would say the most difficult part is.
Okay, we drove through your hometown on the way to Arlington. Did y'all bus? Okay, what's that like for you to drive by where you can actually see your stadium and everything, right? And you pointed out to your teammates and glory days and all that?
Yeah, it was exciting. I talked to my coach about it when we were driving through, just about the history of Grandview and just we never had even thought about winning a state championship until those 2 years. So. And
in terms of how neat is it to be that close to home as well, you know, where you're playing in college, playing in the SEC?
Very much so, because I can have friends come out to the games. My family is always, in that two hours away. So if anything was to happen, or just to be able to see them is great.
Anything else?
That was Coach D'Adazio you told that, or you said?
Coach Louis, his son.
Oh, okay.
All right, I think that's all we have. Thank you, Demetrius.
Thank you.